I'm the author of the STRobot Forex robot and trading system, and what this video is about is basically a big introduction to it for people who've never seen it before, or who are thinking of getting it, or perhaps have got it already and would like to know where to start. So I'm going to start off by taking you through the 3 charts that allow us to trade 40 pairs. Now the first chart I'm going to take you to is this one, and this is the a daily chart, and as you can see there's all kinds of information on here. I'm going to take you through the most important. Up here at the top here is trend information, and that's a robot thinking face. If it says green, it's thinking about taking the trade. And just over here we've got the heat map, and this is a 15-minute currency strength map. So we can see, for instance, that the green ones are stronger and the red ones are weaker. So sterling, for instance, is running weak against the euro and against Canadian dollar, and especially against the New Zealand dollar right now. But we've also got down here the daily currency strength. So if you see that, if we go and have a look at, say, euro New Zealand, which is quite a good pair to look at. In fact, we can see that, let's see, euro New Zealand, sorry I didn't click the first button. We can see straight away that the euro, that green line highlighted there and the blue one, the euro is stronger than the New Zealand dollar on a daily basis, although 15 minutes is showing that the New Zealand dollar is stronger than euro. So that just means in the short term it's stronger, but longer term, as you can see by this, you can see that the euro is going up against the New Zealand dollar. You can see we've got support and resistance, all that sort of thing. You don't need to look at this anyway if you're just trading with the robot. If you like to look at what the robot's doing, then you can look at the chart, and I've got these buttons here so I can flip around different currencies, which is quite helpful. We've also got here, now this is the hourly chart for us to do our short-term trading with. So what you can see here, you can see that we've got this red zone here, okay, and we've got a green zone here. Now most people who trade with use just a moving average to trade, which is a kind of, I don't think it's a brilliant thing to do, because I think you need to do a lot more. Will sell when it goes below the moving average and buy when it goes above it. Well, we've got a different way of doing it. We've got an algorithm that basically allows us to see pretty much where the market is. So for instance, we buy below the moving average and we sell above it. Now that sounds a bit bizarre and round the wrong way, but we have restrictions. There is an algorithm that's used to calculate, you can see these trading zones. So basically, for instance here, whilst it's kind of hovering down here, we're not going to buy it at all because it's sitting outside of the trading zone. You can see the green lines there as the trading zone. Again, even though there's a green arrow there, which is a buy signal, we're not going to take the trade. We might take the trade at this point, but it's actually entered into the sell zone, so we probably aren't going to take the trade. We're quite fussy about that stuff. Now what's actually happened here, this is the euro dollar. This is the Draghi, who's in charge of the European Central Bank, did a speech, and the euro rallied up like mad, and then it sort of dropped back down again. Now it has continued a little bit bullish, but what we're really interested in is looking for the Heikin-Ashi here to change direction and give us a sell signal. There is a sell signal there, but there was a reason to do with currency strength. They didn't take it. In fact, it wasn't to do with currency strength. It's because the price was going the other way. So when the robot looked at that Heikin-Ashi signal, it went, hang on, this is a bullish candle, and yet so I've got to sell Heikin-Ashi, but I've got a bullish candle, so I'm going to stay out of this trade, which looks like it was a kind of wise thing to do, because if you look at what's happened, it's now continued to go up. Now it may look at it again, but we need it to come up and then come back down properly within our sell zone. So that's how that works. We also use RSI to make sure that we're not buying at extremes. So for instance here, there's no way I'll take a sell there. Why? Because if RSI is below 30, this is basic trading. If RSI is below 30 at this point, it's more likely to actually turn around and go the other way. Look what happened. It started going the other way. So we wouldn't take a sell at that point. So basically our robot will only take a sell here above that yellow moving average, and it'll also look at some other things. He also looks at RSI. He looks at currency strength by comparing all the currencies against all the others. So for instance, in this case, if we switch to euro dollar, so euro USD, you can see that the dollar is stronger than the euro, although they are moving towards each other. The dollar is stronger than the euro. So we've been in this bearish run for ages. So really the robot will only be interested in taking a short on it, but it has to have everything else in place as well. Okay, and what I'm going to do is just switch to this account here. Bring up, I'll show you a real live trade. We can take a look at it. Sorry, I've got to. Here we go. Some of these people have extensions. Here's a real live trade that the robot took, and you can see that. Right, so I'm just going to turn on the auto scrolling. Auto scrolling this. That's very good. So turn off the auto scrolling so we can see what we're doing. So this is a trade that the robot took. Now you can see that it's found an entry here below the moving average. It's found Hecken actually said buy it. Okay, it's taken a buy within that area, and we know if it was down here we wouldn't be taking a buy, because it's basically, it looks like it's going to move out. So we've got a Hecken actually buy signal. It actually went for over 100 pips here. So it predicted that turn absolutely perfectly. Let's just scroll back a bit and you can see what happens. So basically the dollar yen was in a bullish move. It had a drop down here. So, you know, a good trader will tell you if you've got a long-term buying, if you've got a long-term pair that's moving in one direction, buy the dips. Don't buy up here, because you've got to then survive all this back down to here. So that's what STRobot does, is he looks for the dips in these big trades. Now the other thing, he does some other clever stuff as well. So that's the other chart. So basically you've got your daily chart, you've got your hourly chart where you can see what's going on in like a zooming in fashion. The robot's trading daily and hourly at the same time. And you've also got this. Now this is STRobot's chart. What's behind this is an expert advisor called STRobot, who sits there all day and watches the markets while they're open. He's got some information to tell you what's going on. At the moment we haven't got any trades going on this because he's closed, because we actually closed out in profit earlier on. So over here we've got a thing that just tells us what's going on. You'll see that flash red sometimes. It won't do it much at this time of night because there's not a lot of activity in the market. So when he decides to go and check things, he'll do that. Over here we've got some of the basic settings. There's actually loads and loads of settings, so let me just show you that. So if I hit F7, or I can go right click the chart and go expert advisors, properties, you'll see I've got just oodles and oodles of settings, and it's actually pretty much the ones you need to worry about, the ones that says robot settings. And there's lots of different settings in there. So we've got the lot size we're going to use for the robot. We can say that if all the trades I've got open equal $100, then close them all. So that means if you've got some bad trades that aren't doing very well, and you've got a trade that's losing, and you've got another two trades that are doing really well, they can cover each other rather than just, you know, stopping out all the time. You can actually lose a lot less pips and actually make more money. Also got something called auto target, which basically means that it'll automatically it'll start off with a target of 3 times profit per trade. So if this is 50 pips, so it'll start off and say we've got to get 150 pips, and you can see down here, see where it says 150 there, that's the target, 150 pips. However, if I get 4 trades, that will go up to 200, 5 trades 250, etc, etc, because of that level that's set to. So the more trades I have on, the higher the level we're going to be aiming for, but it's a minimum of 3 times that of 150 pips. That means that if you get a trade that goes 50 pips on its own, we don't close it, because if it's going 50 pips, it might go 150. So we want to leave it open. So it's a very fine balance. We've got maximum number of trades open at any one time. Just to restrict your account, these days it'll do 5 or 6 maximum. You can limit the time that it starts trading. You can say the maximum stop loss I want to give is 120 pips. Don't trade on Monday means that you can say don't trade up till 4 o'clock GMT on Mondays is the worst time to trade. So Other settings. So there's you can turn on. You can ignore most of this. Keep safe at pips, very important. That shows you basically what happens is when this a trade that's on moves 30 pips or more in profit, it will move the stop inside the entry so that trade you can't lose it. If it stops out, it will stop out in profit. Also, we have a different trailing stop level at 40 pips. I have mine set to, so that basically means that once it's in profit, when it gets to 40 pips in profit and moves up, the stop will move up with it, so it locks in the profit. Basically, you're profit taking on the way in. I think the rest of the things you can kind of ignore. There's alerts. Here you go. So alerts means it's going to pop up a box when it wants to tell you something. You can get it to send email to your email account. You can also get it to send notifications to your mobile phone, which is quite good fun because you can see what's going. Auto keep safe is true, so we have that on anyway. So everything else you can kind of leave alone. Those are the main ones that you need to worry about. So that's really it. So that's all you have to do. So we tend to watch out for news quite a lot, and because news is quite important, especially things like non-farm payrolls, means you're going to get a flat market like this, and then it will rally and go mad. And really, we don't want to be involved in that kind of trading. We much prefer this kind of trading where we've got a great long bullish move. So that's about all there is. So you can get the software by going into our new website. STRobot.rocks, www.strobot.rocks, or you can go strobot.co.uk, or I want to be a forextrader.com. They'll go to the same place. Also got a blog that's worth reading, www.dailyforextrader.me, which is quite good fun, where daily you'll see robot trades posted when we're doing them. Now sometimes the robot doesn't trade for a day, absolutely fine, okay, because it's picky and choosy about what it likes to trade. I hope that's really helpful, and I probably going to be making another video in about a month. Otherwise, it's STRobot, www.strobot.rocks.